This 11th ministerial meeting is timely and particularly significant in the lead up to the September United Nations Summit of the Future. We as Africa must seize the opportunity offered by the Summit of the Future and its outcome document, the Pact of the Future, to galvanize political support for an expeditious Security Council reform that prioritizes Africa and a reform process that recognizes that Africa must be treated as an exceptional and priority case, as stated. Africa's non-representation in the permanent category and the representation in the non-permanent category in the organ of the United Nations that is entrusted with the primary responsibility of maintaining international peace and security is a historical injustice that needs urgent redress. This is especially in view of the rapidly evolving international security realities and the multiple failures of the Security Council to take action, where decisive action has been urgently required. My delegation notes the modest progress in the IGN during the 78th session of the UN General Assembly, including the discussion models presented by different interest groups and countries. As a continent and the only region with a united position, it is imperative that we progress the IGN process in a way that solidifies the common African position and support from other member states. As we intensify our engagement with other member states, interested groups, and regional groups, we must ensure that the presentation of the common African position reform model is underpinned by an in-depth appreciation of the historical and political context then and now. This comprehensive and nuanced approach of engagement must also be driven by the conviction and exemplification that Africa's permanent presence and effective representation in the UN Security Council will undoubtedly better position the multilateral system to deal with the current and future peace and security challenges. This, we believe, will narrow down the differences in areas of focus, substantive issues, and procedural questions to the advantage of the common African position. Identification of challenges and the leveraging of areas of commonalities with other groupings must remain key.
Latest developments has shown that there are new developments at the international arena that confirm the legitimacy of the African demands and requests with regards to the UN Peace and Security Council. And this encourages us in scaling up our efforts in order to advance the African common position on this basis. And as our continent lately has been rightly represented in the G20, it will be able unavoidably and with the efforts of all its children to rectify and to address all the challenges that it has been facing for such a long time.
Really appreciates your support for this process, being a champion for counterterrorism, being a champion for the African voice at the international level.
It is critically important to understand the root cause of the injustice that we are trying to rectify if we are to get it right. Without being sentimental, there is a universal recognition of historical injustices born out of over 200 years of colonization, which invariably led to the exclusion of Africa from post-World War II intergovernmental bodies such as the Bretton Woods institutions, that is the World Bank and the IMF.